Sync test. Down, up, down, down, up, up. A. Welcome back to Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Last time we had our first battle against, what else, Bandits. And this time, well, with a chapter title like that, I wonder who we could be rescuing. That's already pretty ominous. Should mention that I actually really like the chapter title cards in this game. And we have someone new here who we didn't get an early bird cameo of in the previous cutscene. I think this is supposed to be pronounced Rice, but I find this guy's Japanese name hilarious. It's Kilroy, which is completely ironic for what he does, and is also the name of my favorite pastime in Super Smash Bros. So he seems a bit sickly. Oh, yeah, no, Titania would still be in top form, definitely. That's pretty typical of the Fire Emblem series, actually. So the Grail Mercenaries only have one staff user, that must be hard for them. That's not suspicious at all. No, I think it's the exact opposite. It's battle time. This is probably one of my favorite Crisis themes in the series, if not my actual favorite. Yeah, it's really not like him to get agitated. He has a skill that's literally called Serenity. Well, now we know who we'll be rescuing. We don't actually know anything about Rolf at this point, though. Well, I guess Rice is a pretty, I still call him that sometimes. Rice is a pretty bad judge of character. So it's Revenge of the Bandits. And Ike's gone immediately. Although, to be fair, if I found out my sister was in danger, I'd probably bolt immediately as well. Yes, how will you go without your Jigen? Yes, I call her that. I don't like the term Oife because I feel like the original Oife was pretty bad. But anyway. And he's gone too. And he's gone. So, from this exchange, we can peg Oscar as lawful good, Icon Boyd as chaotic good, and Rice is probably neutral good. Yeah, I know that discussing alignments outside of D&D is a flame war magnet, but I think it does kind of fit. Also, you two running off when you have no idea where the bandits are, not the smartest of ideas. Again, though, their siblings are in danger. You can't really fault them for being rash. Boyd's really not the one to be calling other people morons. And Oscar came along too. Thankfully. This line raises so many questions for me. One, the Grail mercenaries, or at least some of them, knew there was a bandit stronghold and knew exactly where it was, but haven't done anything about it? That just seems kind of weird. Also, the fact that why would Oscar, of all people, just casually know where a bandit stronghold was? Well, I mean, I guess it's his job to make sure the others don't go near it, but it's still weird that they just know exactly where it is, but haven't done anything about it. And this is great generic bandit music. And so this guy will be our boss for today. And I am not going to make any Guile jokes because I'm sure that billions of other playthroughs of this game already have. But seriously, he does look pretty similar. No, actually. I think you underestimate what we're capable of doing to you. Especially since all of you are horrendously weighed down by your weapons at this point in the game. Which means, eat, we're all gonna die. Thanks for telling us exactly where they are, by the way. Now, unfortunately, we also factor in their revenge. It's not just Titania. That's a good point you make, though, Boyd. But that's also a good point that he's making. So we got a bunch of bandits here. And so much for Reese having to rest before his first battle. Nope, he's fighting right now. Or rather, healing. So we have to last a few turns without Titania, which is actually kind of an interesting gameplay decision. And here we go. Before I do anything else, let's check out Reese. You'll hear me pronounce this guy's name very inconsistently, but I'll be calling him Rice for this bio. Rice is our first healer, and he's very strange for a few reasons. The first, you might notice that 1+3 in his level. While Rice joins at level 4, his actual base level is 1, and he gets 3 auto levels, so his base stats might vary from playthrough to playthrough. It's why some websites like Serenade's Forest say Rice's stats are rounded to the nearest whole number. Why this is so weird? He is, to my knowledge, the only character in Path of Radiance who does this. Reason number 2 why Rice is weird. He's a priest who promotes to bishop. Outside of the trial maps, he's the only one of his kind among the playable characters. This means that promoted Rice is the only playable character who can use light magic. Yeah. So if you don't plan on promoting him, you might as well sell every light tome that you find, because nobody else can use them. Because of this oddity, bishops don't have separate ranks for light magic in this game. Their light magic rank is tied to their staff rank. This is actually pretty useful, as it means that by the time Rice promotes, he'll have a pretty high staff rank, which means he'll be able to use good light tomes right off the bat. Good light tomes is kind of a relative term though, because most of them are fairly weak. And in this game, light magic exists outside the weapon triangle, so it never gets advantage against anything. Other than the fact that you have to use him if you want to use light magic, Rice is your pretty typical priest. He heals people, and his stats mostly lie in magic, luck, and resistance, with not great HP and defense. He does, however, suffer from a major problem affecting magic users in this game. They all have one less movement than your average on-foot unit does. They're equal with armor knights for movements. This can make it pretty hard for Rice to get into healing range of other characters, especially with all the mounted units running around. This is mitigated slightly by the fact that long-range staves are pretty easily obtainable in this game. You get given a lot of physics staves, and it's very easy to steal them from enemy priests too. So he often doesn't need to be next to people to heal them. However, there is a mounted healer available in this game, and they run the risk of eclipsing him in utility because of that. Rice has a niche over them in starting with a higher staff rank though. Oh, and he starts with the Serenity skill, which is the opposite of Boyd's Tempest, halving the effects of Biorhythm. This reduces the Biorhythm range to plus or minus 2 hit and evasion, which essentially means Biorhythm does nothing at all. Yay, having to waste a skill slot to eliminate the effects of a terrible mechanic! The thing is, being a healer who can't fight until promotion, Rice never really cared about Biorhythm anyway, so this skill doesn't do much for him. Overall, Rice is a healer, and that's always useful, but he does have trouble keeping up with a lot of the early game characters. But if you want to use light magic in this game, he's literally your only option, so there's that. So we've got a bunch of bandits here. Okay, 14 attack, 13 attack, and 10 attack. I can usually survive against all three of them if his defense is decent. But I could also put him in a position where that Myrmidon wouldn't be able to attack him, which may actually be a little more effective at this point. So I'm going to send him up here. Oh, by the way, this is a route chapter. I've got a love-hate relationship with route chapters. I like the fact that you're forced to get every ounce of experience from them, but I don't like the fact that, well, some of them have reinforcements and they can go on for a very, very long time. Thankfully, this one is not one of those. So it's a pretty decent route chapter, not one of the more obnoxious ones. Yeah, I'm going to have Boyd straight up attack this guy, because he can get attacked by one fighter there, but that bandit won't be able to reach him. You do have to watch out for Boyd, because his defense is kinda low, but I want Boyd to level up here, because then he just starts demolishing things. Though I will say right now, I don't plan on using Boyd in my final team. I'll be using him a lot early on, but later on I have some other characters that I want to showcase more than him. Now here's where locking in ranges is useful, because I know where to put Rice without him. Again, Reese. I really have no idea how you're supposed to pronounce his name. But I can put him somewhere where he's not going to get attacked. Oscar is going to go on standby around here. And you're going to go on standby. You're going to heal either Boyd or Ike. I'm not really sure at this point. It depends on how things go. So here's Rolf. You might have got a brief glimpse of his map sprites at the start of Chapter 1. Well, map model. I still say sprite sometimes as a force of habit. So the implication here being that Rolf is the brother of Oscar and Boyd. Mist is kind of the one taking charge here, which is kind of interesting. According to the art book, Rolf is actually a bit younger than she is, which I didn't know when I first played this game. And this guy goes down, and that should be a level up for Boyd. I'm hoping he gains either strength or speed here. Either one will help. Preferably both. Please be both. Both! Excellent! That is really, really good. This early on, Boyd getting 1 point of strength is basically the same as him gaining 2 points of speed from that level up. Because, yeah, Boyd's doubling this guy. He might not have been able to double before. Due to the way that strength offsets weapon weight in this game, more strength equates to more speed early on. so you want people to be gaining strength as well as speed. Later in the game, though, physical fighters get so much strength that the whole weight system becomes completely redundant. That is one downside of this. I like it better than the con system because it's more equal opportunity in who can wield stronger weapons. Because, yeah, I never really liked the GBA Constitution system. But, like I said, the downside of the system here is that once physical fighters get to higher levels, there's really no point to weapon weight existing at all, which is probably why they removed it in later games. And then mages, yeah. You'll see how badly mages are screwed over by weapon weight later on in this game. Okay, you have 7 speed. That's not enough to double, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait until, comments explain the pronunciation of that guy, because, yeah. I'm also very glad that Boyd dodged that last attack, because that means he'll actually be able to hold his own against these two with a vulnerary. Also, you didn't double that guy when I practiced this chapter. Oh yeah, actually that's because Boyd didn't gain speed when I practiced this. So, you do 9, you do 9, so if Boyd doesn't vulnerate up, he's going to die here. And if Boyd got hit by that last attack, he would have died even if he had vulnerate up, but notice the terrain info bottom screen here. Arvo 10, defense 1, so they're actually only going to be doing 8 damage to him if he's standing in this thicket. And neither of them can attack from thickets in their own right, so that's going to be pretty useful. Okay, I really want Oscar to not get hit by this guy. If I position people right, I might be able to screen Rice here. Guess I'll have to wait for Fire Emblem Heroes. I mean, I doubt he's going to appear in Fire Emblem Heroes, but he might. To get official pronunciation of his name, I mean. I'm still a little bummed that I was wrong about, yeah, about Tharja. Yes, it's actually a J and not a... I thought it was Tharja. But, yeah, that was Warriors that did that. Anyway, now I have to heal Ike. Yeah, okay, so something that I want to point out here, you know how I said much earlier that some characters are heavier than they look and some are lighter than they look? Rice actually has a weight of 8, so he can shove more people than you'd expect for a sickly priest. This is useful later on. For now, I don't really need to shove anyone. But yeah, bear that in mind. Rice is surprisingly good at shoving people. I was about to say Boyd is surprisingly good at slaughtering people, but he failed me there. And I also shouldn't say surprisingly, because Boyd is actually great in general. Yeah, that Myrmidon, I think I'll finish off with Oscar as a hit and run. Now, hopefully Boyd can take this guy down. The turn limit for max bonus experience in this chapter is 5, and I think I will be able to make that if I play my cards right. Or should I say, position my characters right. Another bandit. And finally, the savior has arrived! That puts Titania probably as also lawful good. Anyway, we have Titania back. It's actually something that I think is an interesting gameplay decision, like I was alluding to before. The fact that... So I'm going to probably get Oscar level up here. The fact that after giving you a whole chapter with your crutch character, they forcibly remove your crutch for a couple of turns at the start of the next one. It's kind of like hammering in home to the player that you won't be able to rely on Titania all the time, and if you don't build up everyone else, you'll regret it. Doesn't really work because soloing the early game with Titania is still probably the most efficient strategy, but anyway. Okay, Ike does need a little bit of healing. But Boyd needs healing most of all. Oh, Titania can't reach that guy. So I guess she's going to have to finish this guy off. Don't want to risk Boyd actually attacking and possibly missing and dying, because that would be embarrassing. Because yes, your characters are still at risk of dying here, and it actually does change some of the early game dialogue. Actually, I might need to hurry a little bit if I want to make the turn limit we'll see how we go. Like I said, I'm not really too concerned with making the bonus experience turn limits this early on, because I prefer to play cautiously in the early game of most Fire Emblems. Okay, now let's check out these guys. Okay, that guy got a Steel Axe, which means that his speed is completely non-existent and everyone and their mother will double him. But it is droppable, which is pretty useful. Oh, here's the boss. He has a speed wing. We're guaranteed to get that from him. So, yeah. You come just short of one rounding him, which is a little disappointing. Which means I actually want him to attack Titania. Which means Boyd will have to stay back, and I'm going to use this anyway because, like I said, I like to play the early game cautiously. We do have a healer now, so using up vulneraries isn't that big of a deal. Except, we're not going to have our healer for the next chapter. We might not really need him, but the point still stands. We're not going to have him for the next chapter, so we may want to save vulneraries. They sort of rotate out your characters a little bit at this point. Okay, only one of them moved further. Right, now, something that I should point out is that Titania does not one-round the boss unless she gets a crit. Weirdly enough, she has this uncanny tendency to crit this guy. Oh, also, I can talk to Titania. That's pretty cool. Yeah, probably best not to address that until the battle is over. Otherwise, you might just die, and that would not be good. Oh, I probably could have equipped the Steel Sword and still doubled him. That's actually kind of a shame. Okay, let's just check out the movement ranges of everyone else. It's not really all that big. I might actually try and lure some of these guys with Titania. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put Titania here. Like I said, I don't really mind using Titania extensively early on. Okay, yeah, I'm going to need to go ahead and heal Boyd. I'm guessing that Boyd and Oscar can also talk to Titania here, but I might be showing that. Or I might not, because I want to try and meet the turn limit here. Yeah, I should have equipped the Steel Sword. That was a mistake. Forgot that was the Steel Axe guy. But you're definitely dying. Even though you're a sword user, Titania still doubles you, because Titania is amazing. And one other guy is going to die too. Except the boss hasn't moved yet, so... Anyway, we're pretty much just mopping up the last stragglers here. Yeah, he does move, but he wasn't in range of Titania. Okay, we have 3 enemies left, and 4 characters who can fight, so I might be able to actually finish them all off this turn, which will make the turn limit. Okay, yeah, I might as well just go ahead and have you, heal. Oh yeah, by the way, something to mention about the heal staff. It was given 10 more uses in the English version as compared to the Japanese version. So, there it only had 30 uses, here it has a very generous 40. I feel like, in this game, you don't really need much more than the basic heal staff most of the time. Partly because the magic stats on most of the healers are ridiculous, but also because of... Oh! That's annoying. That is extremely annoying. Here's a situation where shoving is useful, because if I had been able to have... In fact, I should have actually had Rice shove Ike, because then he would have been able to reach both of these enemies. For now, though... Even though I could do that... Oh yeah, she does one round him with the Steel Axe, obviously, but that's only if you want to use that. Okay. Do I have to use Titania if I want to kill this guy? I think I actually do, which is sort of a shame. Except that guy is going to suicide himself on the enemy phase anyway, so... I probably am going to make the turn limit. So obviously, being the target of his revenge, he actually does have a special boss quote against Titania. Wow, Titania is being harsh on this guy. And she can hit and run. Yeah, she'll just go down. I don't really care where she goes. Now I can finish off this guy with Ike. Which means we'll never get to see his regular boss quote, because Ike also has a special boss quote with him. I'm going to try and have Ike fight as many bosses as I can, because he's got a lot of great lines against them. Yeah. You just seal your demise. Goodbye. And boss gone. Oh, always hate it when that happens. But we got a speed wing at least. Something that I'll be mentioning about these stat boosting items. I'm normally very notorious for hoarding stat boosters and not using them until the end of the game. In this game, I actually have a legitimate reason for doing that. It's because I like to use them later on to cap off stats that are almost capped on the characters that I want to get Radiant Dawn transfer bonuses on. So I'm going to be saving these for the end of the game for that reason. Radiant Dawn transfer bonuses. And if I weaken this guy enough with Boyd, he should be dying on the enemy phase, because no matter whether he attacks Ike, Titania, or Boyd, he's gone. Well, if he attacks Boyd on the enemy phase and I get very unlucky, he's not gone. Or if Ike has pretty pathetic attack power, then maybe he's not gone. Hopefully Ike can finish him. Yes, he can. That's good. I made the turn limit. Not that it really matters to me, but it's at least nice to get more bonus experience. Also nice to actually get the level up on Ike. Okay, that's alright. Don't know why Ike is not getting much skill. It's actually pretty bad since his ultimate ability runs off the skill stat later on in the game. I was gonna say exactly that. We did it because we're awesome. However, they're all gonna get chewed out for ignoring orders. And admittedly, Titania could have handled it entirely by herself, so I am glad they came, because it meant that they at least got experience out of it. Well, let's hope Ike's mercenary career isn't over before it begins. Yes, because he was an idiot and said exactly where he was holding them. Good to see that Fire Emblem Bandits are as dumb as always. Well, that was a route chapter, but for some reason we missed one. So yes, he is their brother. You might notice that he has a much lighter shade of green hair than they do, though. That is actually plot relevant. At least backstory relevant. Yeah, it's just one fighter. We can handle it pretty easily. Unfortunately, this is kind of a hostage situation. Yeah, this tends to happen with bandits, doesn't it? Whenever an enemy asks you to disarm yourself, it's usually so they can do this. However, good thing we had help. So, mission successful. And who else could say a jerkish line like that? No one. So, something really, really awesome that I only just noticed. Rewind the video and watch that scene again. You can actually see this guy off in the forest ready to shoot the guy. It's really cool. I didn't notice that detail before. Like, you can see his map sprite there the whole time. And typical Armor Knight woes. Although Gatry is actually my favourite Armor Knight in the entire series, so he's cool. I like that he's here. She went to get reinforcements. And they arrived just on time, as always. Unfortunately, one of the reinforcements is this jerk. And the life of an Armor Knight, you just can't get anywhere near the enemies because your movement is so low. I still love them anyway, but yeah. Fully aware that the class has had a lot of issues and in most games is not balanced very well, but they're still my personal favourite class. And we did! This is no time to be snarking, she almost died. But at least things worked out well. And yet, 200 is the maximum bonus experience that you can get from this, on normal and hard. On easy mode, you get more bonus experience. And in the Japan exclusive Maniac mode, you get considerably less. It's half of this. So with that, that's the rescue mission successful. And next time, we'll see just what discipline Grail has in store for Ike and the rest of them.